Hello, everyone, and welcome live to 3Wide TV. And, well, there we go. There's at least a look at what's going on. I'm Peter Short, and alongside me tonight is Garrett Gleason. And, well, we're having some technical issues. As you can see, cars are already rolling out there, and our live timing and scoring stuff is, well, broken to say the least. I've uninstalled and reinstalled the program like 1,000 times before going live, and I'm not really sure what's up with it. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of jump into it a little bit late, but welcome to the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, and, well, let's see if we can go through tonight's starting lineup. On the pole, Scott Crump, Adam Newton alongside, then Jason Freeman, Philip Scott in the number 99 behind him, then the number 77 right here for Doug Neal. Tristan Maher will be alongside him on the outside of row number 3. Then behind them, that's Bill Edwards in the number 5 machine. The number 92, Julian Tesoro back there. Then Justin White, the number 9, and Stephen Lashinsky will be on the outside, I think, row number 5. Behind Lashinsky, we got the number 48 of Fred Lester, then Jeff Price. There we go. Paul Bilson's back there, number 55 of Brandon King, just outside the top 10. Vinny Simbalvano, Mitchell Adams, former series champion. Josh Smith, Bryce Hunter, Adam Dama, Josh Corner, Michael McCauley to round out our field. And Pace Car will be on pit road. We're Green Flag Racing here at Martinsville. And folks, bear with me as I go through all of the camera views here tonight. You got every single camera view here tonight. But Garrett, we're racing at Martinsville.
We're racing, bud, and I'm glad to be here back on 3Y TV with you. I thought the technical difficulty was because I did not have pants on before the race. I put them on, and it wasn't me. So everyone in the comments, please do not blame me. I'm excited to watch these guys take on these tight turns here at Martinsville. I'm hoping for a nice, clean race, Peter, and it's been fun out on the track this season. But I think we'll have even more fun in the booth tonight because you and I always do.
Yeah, and unfortunately, here's the bad news tonight, folks. Caution flag is already in the air. Well, I was about to say that was not really the bad news I was going to talk about, but it is bad news nonetheless. Bad things happening thick and fast here as I get used to kind of the controls, trying to control things without everything. So Paul Bilson, let's see if we can dial up a 3-wide TV replay. I'm going to have to do everything old school style here tonight, which is going to be a little bit interesting, that's for sure. Here we go, and let's see what happened to bring out caution flag number 1, going off into turn number 1 here with the chopper cam. Paul Bilson, ooh, there's Stackham in front of Paul Bilson. Ooh, Justin White's gonna, oh, Brandon King, oh, ouch, ouch, ouch. Lashinsky getting involved too, and Garrett, it is a short track, so hopefully damage won't be too bad, but let's see if we can get another look at the replay.
Yeah, you're not going to worry about aero too much here, Peter, but that's not how you want to start your race. It's that typical Martinsville chain reaction. Somebody gets squirrely in front of you in the corner, and you just have absolutely nowhere to go, and people just start piling in. Even at these low speeds, Peter, that could just cause absolute chaos like we saw here. So let's take another look at it. We got the 55 looking underneath the 2 of Justin White, and just too much truck, not enough racetrack there, Peter.
Yep, and we're going to see that a lot here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway, or not Bristol Motor Speedway, the other short track, Martinsville Speedway, as we're back live, still under the call. Ooh, still bumping, still here under caution flag. Folks, I really wish I knew what was up with my software to give you live scoring and everything, and unfortunately that's just not the case. I looked for an update, I looked for to see if maybe I could download an older version of it, and I just could not find where to do so. So really unfortunate. Hopefully this is a short-term thing. Maybe it's something to do with the track. Maybe it's something to do with something else that I don't know. But I'm going to try and work some stuff on my end. But Garrett, hopefully we'll go back green here shortly as Scott Crump, the Rocket Man so far this season, has been qualifying almost every race on pole that he's been a part of. The exception of a road course, looking mighty strong here tonight, Garrett.
Yeah, no surprise there, Peter. I've been able to race just pretty much this whole season in the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series, and when Scott shows up, Scott is pretty much dominant. And our boys at Team TNR, we know that that's going, well, not we, Peter, because let's be honest, I'm not running up near the front, but the talented guys know that it's going to be hard to beat him every single week. He is that fast, that consistent. And it's surprising, Peter, to see someone like Scott, who is clearly talented and successful, being represented by Stay Tuned Sports and Jimbo.
Yeah, that's for sure. So let's see, however, if we can get a couple more laps of green flag action as the field starts to double up. I thought the pace truck lights had turned off there, but does not look like they have, as looks like we've extended the caution by an extra lap. Not sure what's going on here. Working lap number 7 here tonight. We'll have to keep you on top of everything because, of course, with the live timing and scoring being broken, it just the software just absolutely as soon as I try to pull it up, it crashes. I mean, it's almost instantaneous, or it is instantaneous. So it's very annoying that's the case. But things happen, and in fact, as I do this right now, I'm trying it again, and there it goes. Crashed. Hopefully we have no crashes out there on the racetrack, Garrett, as we're about to go back green here. Scott Crump, Adam Newton started 1-2, currently running 1-2. Garrett, take us back to the green.
Going back green, Scott Crump in the number 8 is going to lead the field. Nice tight stack, and Peter, that could be chaos here as we saw in the initial restart, but a good jump by the number 8 of Crump, and hopefully these guys get settled down, get in a timely order behind them, Peter, because it's not necessarily a long race at Martinsville. These laps go by quick, but this early in the race, there is time to figure stuff out, as we see number 77 way up out of the groove there, and hopefully he can hold on to it as these guys scatter to get around them.
Yeah, that number 77 is Doug Neal in his Simbox machine. He's going to slide back to behind the number 5 machine of Bill Edwards. Meanwhile, in front of him, here comes the number 92 of Tesoro looking underneath Trissa. Maher gets loose. There's contact. We got one around in the back as well. That's Fred Lester going around. And caution flag number 2 comes out here on lap number 11. Time for another 3-wide TV replay.
Peter, here's the thing. As like a league administrator, from this perspective, you get upset thinking about not racing on Martinsville because this could possibly happen. It's a beautiful track. It's fun to race, but like this happens and it puts on necessarily a bad show. But Thuggy just out there in the outside groove, getting squirrely, and then guys behind him, just same thing, Peter. We talked about that chain reaction, and one guy has a problem. It's very rarely going to be a single truck accident out there, and we'll take one more look at this a little deeper in the field.
Yeah, just wanted to see, it was completely, I think, 2 separate incidents, because the 48, I might have clipped the apron back there. Let's see if we can get a little bit better look of that here for this replay. As I've gone back too far, as that happens sometimes. There we go. Back to the replay here of Fred Lester, who was running inside the top 10. Yeah, I think he clipped the curbing down there. And Garrett, that curbing can be pretty treacherous.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to hit that, especially in these trucks, because it bounces you right back up into somebody, and it's hard enough to control your truck if you're on the track during a qualifying run and doing that. But being out there under green with guys battling you for position, it's just not a winning combination.
No, it is not a winning combination at all, as I think we got Paul Bilson here in the 00 machine taking the lucky dog. Was involved in the first caution flag here tonight, and I think now might be on the lead lap. Yeah, I think he's on the lead lap now, so that's good news. Put us all in our trucks on the lead lap. Let's kind of reset the field for you. You're going to have to bring up the scoring, live timing and scoring from in-game iRacing here. Scott Crump is our race leader. Adam Newton in second. Jason Free in third. Philip Scott in fourth. Our top 4 have yet to change any spots. Julian Tesoro running in fifth, if you're a Tesoro fan, +3 since the drop of the green. Bill Edwards in sixth. Doug Neal 7th. Mitchell Adams in 8th. Jeff Price in 9th. Justin White rounding out our top 10. Then Vincent Valvano, Josh Corner in 12th. Michael McCauley 13th. Fred Lester 14th. Bryce Hunter, Josh Smith, Adam Dama 17th, Tristan Maher in 18th, Paul Bilson in 19th, and Stephen Lashinsky and Brandon King currently rounding out our 21 cars running. Matt Cherry and Jason Shue not taking the green flag here tonight. Tough to see Jason not in the field. Garrett, I know one of the TNR gang. Do you know why Jason was unable to make the green?
Well, Peter, I'm having issues on my own trying to get logged in here, but I did just check my messages, and Shu said that he had to update before he can run, and he did not have enough time when he got home. So, unfortunate to see Jason Shu miss the field. I think this is the type of race that he likes. He likes the attrition. He likes to just get out there, run some solid laps, not getting in anyone's way, and maybe come home with a top 10 at the end of the night. Kind of like that guy in the 7 truck did last week at Bristol, Peter.
Oh, that guy in the 7 truck, I'll tell you what, causes trouble. That's for sure. But, yeah, I'm just kind of looking on my end to maybe try some different things about downloading, trying to get a different version of this software. And
Peter, if the race fans don't like the broadcast, the tech support people are going to absolutely love the broadcast. Just keep downloading, installing, maybe throw some tech terms out there, and then I could just talk more and more, because that's what the people tune in to hear. As we're getting ready to go back green here with Crump again leading the field, and he's getting some jumps out there, that's for sure, and that's the safest place to be here at Martinsville.
Yeah, I'll pass on the tech support, but Crump's out front. Good jump on the restart as he will get out front. Adam Newton slotting into second. Jason Freeman, winner from earlier this season, slotting into third. And Garrett, I'm starting to see these back ends start to be a little bit squirrely. Looks like the number 92 of Tesoro got some damage on that truck. Ooh, a little bit of contact there as well. We're catching all the action here. So we're 3 wide at Martinsville. That usually doesn't work. Bill Edwards decides to back out of it. We're still 2 wide here as the 92 of Tesoro starts to drop back. Now here comes Mitchell Adams in the 49. Didn't get a good qualifying run in the World Racing Network Chevrolet, but he's starting to work his way forward. Here's Justin White making a move, and all of a sudden the number 92 getting absolutely freight trained here is Vincent Valvano now looking to take up a spot.
One mistake here at Martinsville will cost you multiple positions, as we see there with the little bit of a damaged truck there in the 92, Vincent Valvano, and that's beautiful, I must say, number 64, Talking Giants Ford making the move. And again, Peter, I'm just trying to keep an eye on some of these guys. Like you said, Mitchell Adams, not the best qualifying run today. Former series champion, which you also mentioned. He's not somebody they expect to run near the back of the field. He knows that it's beneficial to be out front. And man, I love seeing these guys mix it up. And that Janet King truck is a throwback to like the Randy LaJoie days. Or at least that's what I'm remembering.
Well, I have good news and bad news, Garrett. I've just jumped into the Discord as woohoo. A little bit of bumpiness. I jumped into the Discord of SDK Gaming that creates the app that I use, and I'm not the only one. As man, oh boy, Tesoro getting thrown around like a stack of potatoes. I'll tell you what, that number 92 is being beaten up. But getting back to my point, everyone's having the app crash on them, so I'm not the only one. Oop, there's a pace truck. Everyone's having this problem, so looks like I'm not alone. That's good news, but it's frustrating nonetheless that that has happened. But here we go. We got the number 8 leading, and Garrett, he's out to probably now about a 5 truck length lead on the number 29 machine. So good lead for Scott Crump over Adam Newton. He's putting together a really solid run. And then back behind him, that is the number 20 of Jason Freeman, who's under fire from the World Ninja League. Number 99, Philip Scott. He is a ninja himself, and he's going to try and use those ninja moves to make the pass here for third.
Let me just give a shout out to Jason Freeman. He has been a tremendous resource for Team TNR as he's been able to come back to this truck series and run with us. He's making everyone better. But right now, Peter, it looks like he's the truck that's holding up the 99 behind him. And it's one of those conveyor belt things, Peter, where if you're on the assembly line and one person's station's getting held up, everybody starts to get frustrated. And I don't think Philip's there yet. And he's going to race Jason with a lot of respect because Jason's his teammate and his friend. But at some point, you realize there's a big gap between that 20 and the second place truck. If I could get by him, I could get closer to the lead. And that's exactly what you want to do because these laps are going to come off quickly. And Scott Crump is going to start getting to lap traffic, and you never know what might happen.
Yeah, you really never know what will happen. We saw that last week at, of course, Bristol. So Philip Scott hoping to avoid another mishap here tonight as we look a little bit further back. Tristan Thuggy Meyer, you see those brake rotors glowing as caution flag has come out. I did see a quick glance. Oh, it's Freeman. Freeman has gone around our third place truck. Garrett, time to bring up a 3-wide TV replay here.
Well, I hope it's not my first broadcaster's curse of 2023, but it probably won't be the last, Peter. So let's take a look at this number 20 Mason-Dixon Esports machine of Jason Freeman. Looks like he has a solid corner there, and a little too much on exit there. Too much beans, as Carlos would say, and whips around. You think that's a brake bias thing, Peter?
No, I think he just got too much on the gas, and you said it was solid. Well, that inside wall was a little bit too solid, unfortunately, for Jason Freeman. We'll get one more look at that from a slightly different angle here as we work our way through the corner here. I believe caution flag number 3 for cause, maybe 4 for cause. Hard to keep count as Freeman hits that inside safer barrier before he's able to get things back rolling. Luckily, he didn't lose every spot, but he did lose most spots, so he will be well down in the field, currently being scored in the 17th position. There he is, front-end damage on that Chevrolet Silverado, much like Steven Lashinsky back behind him. Looks like Brandon King is the driver who will be our free pass car. Get the lucky dog to get one of his laps back. Justin White also on pit road. Then you got the number 92 of Julian Tesoro in his pit box. 49, Mitchell Adams also coming down pit road. Got a couple other takers on pit road a little bit later. Jeff Price and Bill Edwards right there on your screen coming to their pit crews. But some cool paint schemes out there here tonight. One of those is this driver right here, number 81. I believe that was the car that Kerry Earnhardt ran. Is that right, Garrett? Didn't Kerry Earnhardt run that number 81 once upon a time at Richmond?
Peter, you might be right. I think I misspoke earlier, but that's why you're here to correct me. And I kind of remember Janet King, though, with the Tim Fido, Terry Bradshaw, Armando Fitz team, too, if I remember. Peter, I'm getting old, let's be honest, and I could be making things up in a state of confusion right now, and I'm not sure anybody's going to correct me in the chat. But if we're wrong, please, somebody, let us know. I'm
Googling it right now because, you know, that I want to... When Garrett says he's wrong, you know, I want to look, and I want to prove myself right and Garrett wrong. That's the name of the game. And yeah, sure enough, the number 12 machine. Kerry Earnhardt ran the number 12 Looney Tune scheme. I don't know if he ran it in the Cup Series or the Busch Race. Looks like he ran it in the Busch Race. I don't think did Kerry Earnhardt ever run any Cup races? That's another question.
He did run some Cup races. He ran the number 33 for RCR for a bit. I actually have the diecast. That's the only reason I would know that. I thought they were cool looking cars back in the day. But
learn something new every day. But thanks to our good friend J-Ski, who's been around since the dawn of NASCAR time, at least modern era. Yeah, he ran the number 12 Janet King car back in the day, and it looked just like that. So
for Fitz Bradshaw Racing, Peter.
Yeah, it has to be. You got supercuts on the rear deck lid, so that's Fitz Bradshaw Racing all over it. So, anyway, pace truck. There goes the pace truck headed to pit road. That's the good news, and about to get set to go back to green flag racing. Couple drivers on fresh tires, and Garrett, the fresh tires will come in handy, especially when you have this, which is wheel spin and home. Macaulay there having a big moment in the car or the truck rather that we were just talking about. Lost several positions, just could not get the grip down. I was just about to mention the drivers on fresher tires, they're going to have grip for this restart. The others, well, they're going to be like on a skating rink. We saw that right there. It's 3 wide through the corner. This doesn't look good. Garrett, it's like lap number 149 here tonight, and we are only about to, well, if I were, Jeff Price has gone around in the number 14 machine, and that will bring out another caution flag as there we go, finally able to get to him as, Jason Shue has joined the fray. Oh, there you go. Jason Shue out there now. Not sure why it was a late start for the number 3 mobile, but time to bring up another 3-wide TV replay.
Yeah, I think we saw that one live, Peter. Shouldn't be too much to dissect here on the replay, but let's pull it up and take a look at what happened to Jeff here. We have a nice 3-wide battle here, and just getting into the corner, and then same thing, Peter, just snapping around on these guys. It seems to be an issue probably with the setup, the track, and trying to get everything they can out there because track position is so important at a place like Martinsville. So, and a lot of these guys, Peter, they're going to come down, get their damage fixed. These cautions are great. Guys that are struggling. I mean, Jason Shu's probably, I don't know, 45 laps down. And if this pace continues, he will be back on the lead lap at some point throughout our broadcast.
Yeah, Jason Shu, well down. Yeah, we'll need a couple of lucky ducks. 28 laps down as they run, but a couple takers on pit road. Vincent Valvano, Brandon King, Justin White, Julian Tesoro continues to get damage fixed on his Chevy Silverado. Looks like Jason Freeman also with that front end damage coming down onto pit road. But let's reset the field for you once again as we're working lap number 37 here under the caution flag. Scott Crump is your race leader and so far has led every single lap. Adam Newton still in second, has been second for every single lap. And in third was Philip Scott. He has not been third for every single lap. Started this race in fourth, up one spot after the demise of the number 20 of Jason Freeman. Doug Neal running one spot behind him, started fifth, now in fourth. Tristan Maher started sixth, now in fifth. But behind him, Bryce Hunter. How about this, Garrett? Started 17th, up into sixth. Good start for the Napa Auto Parts machine. Had a good race going at Bristol until things went south. When they went south in a hurry, unfortunately, for the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Silverado. But Bryce Hunter right now inside the top 10, just outside the top 5. Paul Bilson in 7th, then Michael McCauley there in that Kerry Earnhardt-inspired scheme. Adam Dama in 9th. Great to have him back stateside as well after having a tour in Korea in the Armed Forces. Josh Corner in 10th. Bill Edwards, Mitchell Adams, Fred Lester in the 48 machine, then Josh Smith, Jeff Price in 15th. We just saw him turn around. Vincent Valvano 16th, Jason Freeman, Justin White, and then you don't see the next car, or truck rather. They're on pit road. Julian Tesoro going to be 19th, Stephen Leshinsky in 20th, and Brandon King in 21st, and then Jason Shu, whatever happened to him, 28 laps down and down and away with his pit group. So, Garrett, we're through 40 or so laps. It's been pretty frantic out there, more frantic than I was expecting.
Definitely more frantic than I expected. I expected as well, Peter, because I've been out on track with these guys. This is a clean league, but Martinsville, and you and I talked about before the broadcast, we've talked about it in past broadcasts. This place just, I don't know what it is. It's a combination of just everything. It's hard to put on a good, clean show here, but we have 100 or so laps to go, Peter. Let's see what these guys can do. Maybe they could finally get in that groove, and I think at tracks like this, Peter, and you're much more successful racing career-wise than I am, getting just that in that rhythm, as we see Crump taking the outside in this restart, which is a little bit different, get in that rhythm and just do it consistently and knock some laps off here. So let's go back green.
Yeah, green flag back in the air, and it looks like the number 8 machine of Scott Crump gets a great jump there. Adam Newton still in second, Philip Scott in third. The best battle right now is for fourth between the 77 and the 17th, but that goes away very quickly. Meanwhile, let's look a little bit further back here as Bill Edwards looks to the inside of Mitchell Adams. Oh, Bryce Hunter's got around it. Oh, Fred Lester on 2 wheels. And, oh, Bill Edwards is stuck in the inside wall. We were just talking about Bryce Hunter saying he's having a good night from 17th up to 6th. And, well, Bill Edwards' night, well, you know what they say, Garrett, about people who are elderly, they go to bed a little bit sooner. And so Bill Edwards, he'll be able to go find his slippers and head to bed a little bit early, as it looks like his truck was toast.
Yeah, he'll go have a nice warm glass of milk, Peter, watch one of those knife infomercials or whatever they do. Maybe he'll buy a new vacuum or something like QVC and just go to bed. But tough break for Bill, somebody that's very talented and I expected to be in contention tonight. But 19 here, again, we're seeing it get into the corner. And Peter, was there contact there? I assume there was, but it's very hard to tell. And wow, that is not something we want to have on the 3Y TV highlight package right there.
No, definitely not what we want to have on the 3-wide TV package. Let's see if we can break this down one more time. Let's do away with that overlay. And that looks like Bilson might have caught the curb, jumped up, and then behind him it was all chaos from there as cars went airborne and all types of things. Let's see if we can get an onboard here from Fred Lester, because Lester was kind of really in a bad spot. Here we go, on board with Lester, working his way through turn number 3 and 4. Coming out, there's the car going around. He gets on the brake okay. But I don't think others got on the brake okay, and it went from bad to worse. Let's see if we can get a ride on board here with the number 5 machine. Let's go back just a little bit. Bill Edwards and see what he had to see from the top of his Toyota Tundra. Garrett, everything's looking fine here right now. Everything's still looking fine. There's the initial contact truck starting to go around, and it felt like I think he got on the brakes. He might have got shot from behind. Let's see if we can maybe go back a little bit further and see if maybe he did get a bump from behind. One more time on the 3-wide TV replay. Got Fred Lester right back behind him. Jeff Price back behind him. Bill Edwards, and he starts slowing down. He gets a bump there. And I don't know if that just upset the truck or... Well, we're going to have to go back and get another replay of this one, because I don't know if the truck was upset by that or just not. And there we go. This should give us a good look. Keep your eyes on the number 5 machine. He does get a little bit of a contact there. Oh, he hit the stopped truck after that contact. That's a tough break. Probably that little bit of contact that he had, Garrett, prevented him from really slowing up, and it really exacerbated the crash.
Yeah, that definitely is the case. 19 there, it looked like the truck, I think Bill maybe thought he was going to stay in a certain spot. Looked like the truck moved a little bit, and I'm not finding any fault with the 19, Peter. I don't want anybody to, misinterpret that, but it's sometimes you just make that split-second decision that, okay, I have room, I'm going to make it, and by the time something changes in front of you, it's just not possible. But another great restart for Crump here, and they're 3 wide behind them. Looks like Philip Scott, again, I've talked about Philip's maturity on Mondays, and he's just proven again, he backed out of there. The old Philip would have drove that in there 3 wide deep, Peter, and you and I both know that.
Yeah, but now we have Tristan Maher, who I think has fresher tires on the number 17, now dicing things up in the top 5, as Mitchell Adams has a little bit of a moment there, a big slide. Meanwhile, back behind him, here we go, good side-by-side action back here. Vincent Valvano well up the racetrack. Number 21 right there is Josh Corner, I believe, racing to his inside, the Bass Pro Shops Chevy Silverado. They're racing their way out of turn number 4 down the front stretch now as Vincent Valvano continues to get freight trained. Let's see if we can go up to the front, however. Gonna jump through the field. There we go. Good look. Let's see if we can get a look. There we go. That's the driver's view out of Scott Crump's machine. Oh! And the number 64 machine has gone around Vincent Valvano around in turn number 3 and 4. Let's see what happened here to our good buddy Vinny on another 3-wide TV replay as we reach lap number 50 here tonight. Garrett, let's see if Vinny, I know you're a Giants fan yourself, a New York Giants fan. What happened here to Mr. Talking Giants?
Well, that looks like that number 64 Vincent Valvano got run over worse than the Giants did against the Eagles in the playoffs this season. That's what it looks like there. It's just Martinsville. Again, we saw this like the first incident of the race, just 2 trucks and not enough racetrack. And I might have to put that on some T-shirts, maybe sell them at the Martinsville hot dog stand or something, if NASCAR will let me. But I think I've been banned from pit road, Peter, but that's a long story.
Well, tonight is the Martinsville Hot Dog 150. They talk about the hot dogs here at Martinsville Speedway. Want to check out the chat, folks. How's it going? We apologize for not having overlays here tonight. The software I often use is having problems, and I'm just kind of keeping an eye on their Discord to make sure that they don't have any updates. Seems like someone is looking into it on the software side, so maybe if we get a fix out, we'll be able to bring the overlays back. Dominic Tesoro asking, where is Julian at? Well, let's bring up the good old screen here, the good old iRacing screen. And our good friend in the number 92 of Julian Tesoro is currently in 18th. Been having a lot of damage repaired, caution after caution after caution, after being involved kind of mildly, Garrett, in one of the earlier incidents here tonight. But unfortunately, iRacing sometimes is not so kind. You feel like, oh, that truck's going to be fine. That was just a minor bump, and it's absolutely junk. And then there's other times when you absolutely get lifted up into the air and almost do a barrel roll, and the truck's perfectly fine. You never really know. Oh, yikes! That was a little bit of a problem, or at least almost a problem, as we almost had a little bit of a smashy crashy on pit road.
I wouldn't have been surprised with the way tonight's going, Peter, but you're absolutely right about the iRacing damage model. Sometimes you think, man, I just bumped the wall there. It should be 10 seconds worth of damage, and you have 3 minutes of optional, and you just don't understand how that's even possible for the amount of contact you made. And like you said, other times you can make a barrel roll, and you'll see the guy running in the top 5 with absolutely no aero effects. It's very bizarre. But Peter, while we're under yellow, I'd like to share what happened before the race. I went down to the infield, and they were having the Martinsville hot dog 150 hot dog eating contest, and I looked to my right, and Steven Doziak was there, and I asked him what he was doing. He said his girlfriend was taking part into the competition. Peter, would you believe that she beat everyone else by 15 hot dogs? You cannot believe what that girl could shove in her mouth.
No, I can't believe it. I really can't. My mind is blown. But anyway, back out on the racetrack, Scott Crump in the number 8 machine Gary continues to be a race leader. I mean, he's so far led every single lap. We're closing in on the halfway mark. But look at that number 17 right behind him. That is Tristan Maher on fresher tires. What can Maher do? Can he mix things up here in the closing stages? Not closing stages. We're not even a halfway mark. What am I saying? As green flag's back in the air, they head off towards turn number 1. Scott Crump, the 29 of Newton. Maher trying to slot into third. Then the number 99 right there of Philip Scott. The 49 of Mitchell Adams. Look at that. Mitchell Adams into the top 5 for the first time here tonight. Paul Bilson, Adam Dama, Jeff Price, Joshua Corner, and the number 13 there of Smith working his way around the racetrack. Then back behind him, here comes the number 81, Macaulay, making a move to the inside. That'll be a pass for position. Not sure exactly which position. I'm missing my live timing and scoring here as, caution. And it looks like corner's gone around. I think that might have been Adam Dama that we saw also having problems. Well, some more to figure out here on this 3-wide TV replay.
Peter, I'm here like just thinking to myself how amazing it is that you're still able to queue up these replays as quickly and efficiently as you can. You're such a pro, and wow, that he's wrecked and saved that truck at least 2 or 3 times before the whole incident happened. And we see another launch of a truck deeper in the field here. So let's watch the second part of the replay, because here at Martinsville, like we've shown all night, that there's more than one incident during every incident.
Yeah, this is one of those things where sometimes you just kind of have to hold the brakes and come to a complete stop. But look, you got these drivers back here, and they're just not slowing down, and bam. And whoa, Fred Lester up and over. Do a barrel roll. Looks like Vincent Valvano stuck, Dama stuck. They're trying to sort things out like 2 folks in a Walmart parking lot on a Saturday night. And it looks like Dama's smoking, so needs to lay off the Marlboros in that number 28 machine. You come to pit road here momentarily, try and get some of that damage repaired. But that was a heavy hit. But you know what happens on 3-wide TV, Garrett, when someone rolls over?
We take a shot?
Well, yeah, we take a shot, a camera shot, though.
Oh.
Yeah, not that type of shot. We bring out our special 3-wide TV gyro cam shot.
Oh, I like this one.
If you guys have any beverages at home, it might be worth you actually using them, although beverages might make that particular ride a not so enjoyable experience, as Fred Lester goes up and over. And caution flag is back out in the air. Let's see if we can get back live. More trucks on pit road. Fred Lester is on pit road. Looks like Adam Dama might have called it a night. Tough break for him. But we continue to stay behind the iRacing.com pace truck. Garrett, with all these short, quickie yellows, I'm a little bit concerned that, we're going to be watching these replays with cars flipping upside down and all that stuff, and we're going to miss a green flag, and they're going to be right back to caution flag. I have no idea. I can't tell because I don't have my software that tells me so. But nonetheless, let's reset the field for everyone right now under this caution flag. Scott Crump, Adam Newton, our front two. Tristan Meyer, Philip Scott, third and fourth. Mitchell Adams in fifth. Bilson, Jeff Price, sixth and seventh. Michael McCauley in eighth. Joshua Smith in ninth. And Julian Tesoro rounding out our top 10. Jason Freeman, Josh Corner, 11th and 12th. Brandon King, 13th. Stephen Lashinsky, 14th. And then we got trucks multiple laps down. Justin White, 2 laps down, 15th. Vincent Valvano just fell 3 laps down. The Talking Giants truck, not having a fun time. Fred Lester, 3 laps down now. We'll see if he can make it back out on the racetrack. Doug Niels called it a night, I think. 9 laps down. Bryce Hunter, 16 laps down. Bill Edwards called it a night. And Jason Shue. Garrett Jason's still out there. And the number 3, you know what? When this is all said and done, might be in line for a top 10. Let's wait and find out after starting the race about 20 or so laps late. Pace truck on pit road. And Garrett, we're about to go back green.
Yeah, let's go back green and let's hopefully stay green, Peter, as we're thinning out the herd here. I mean, the odds of an accident go down. You're the math and intelligence guy here on the broadcast duo, so I believe that's accurate, though. But Thuggy in that 17 is definitely showing some promise here on those fresh tires, and I think this is one of those types of races, Peter, where you might want to make your pit stop as early as possible, like the 17, if you can. I don't know if they can make it to the end or not, Peter, but I'm just saying, make your pit stop, get out front, and keep that track position because it's been chaos coming through the field. And so far, that 17 has done it pretty flawlessly. Just one more spot to go to take that lead.
Yep. Tell you what, good racing here throughout the field as Brandon King with another dive bomb move. That number 55 has been late on the brakes here tonight. The number 92, Julian Tesoro, is starting to languish a little bit further back from the field. Maybe he's realizing this is a race of attrition. Just lay back, stay out of the field, stay out of the pack like it's Daytona. It might be safer. You got a couple trucks on pit road. We'll have to deal with them, folks, unfortunately, when we kind of pan around the cameras here tonight at times. But Scott Crump, your race leader, working his way out of turn number 2. Like you said, Garrett, the number 17, has moved up into second. So now we'll get to see what the number 17 can do. Can he play around with our race leader? Can he play games? Can he get the race lead? We have yet to see a pass for the race lead here tonight as we are about a half hour or so, a little bit longer than a half hour into tonight's race. Meanwhile, looks like we got a race back here. This is the battle for 6th with Jeff Price looking to the inside of Paul Bilson. And look at that, right behind him, Jason Freeman trying to make a recovery in the Mason-Dixon racing machine as Bilson has a little bit of a wiggle there coming at. Oh, Freeman goes around in turn number 1 and 2, and that will bring out our next caution. I'm not counting cautions here tonight, but oh, ouchies. Oh, Garrett, as I was just saying, the 92's languishing back, kind of staying out of the pack. And then that happens.
Yeah, the spotter there, Peter. I'm going to blame somebody's spotter, whether it's the 20 or I don't think the 92 obviously did anything there. But like you said, the great strategy, stay out back, let them wreck in front of you, and then pick up a top 5 or 10 at the end of the race. And you mentioned earlier, Shue is looking great for a top 10 at this rate. But looks like the 20 of Freeman just trying to make up for some of that lost track position deep in the corner there. And Peter, I think in that instance, that might have been a brake issue more so than him getting on the gas. I don't think he was on the gas at that stage in the corner unless you disagree.
Yeah, I think that was 100% a brake bias situation. Just unfortunately locked him up going into the corner. Back end came out, and that was all she wrote. Let's see what is going on pit road. Looks like Mitchell Adams, Paul Bilson, Brandon King, Jeff Price on pit road. Stephen Lashinsky, the number 92, continuing to get more damage repaired, picked up a little bit more. Maybe Julian Tesoro will walk away with a top 10 when it's all said and done. Who knows? It's been a little bit of a wild night, but this is the big one on pit road. Scott Crump, our race leader, was our race leader in the Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra. He is now out there out front. So I do want to make mention that we did have a stage here tonight. We didn't actually have a stage caution. However, because we've been having cautions so frequently, Scott Crump, though, was the driver who did pick up those bonus points for leading when we had the stage on lap number 50. So far, had led every single lap before coming down pit road, but as things continue to cycle on out, your new race leader is going to be Adam Newton in the number 29 machine. Philip Scott, Michael McCauley, Bryce Hunter is, looks like a couple laps down. I make it 16 laps down. That's more than a couple. Joshua Smith up into 4th, and then still dealing with those lapped or cars on pit road. And Tristan Maher back up into the top 5. So kind of things shuffling out here at Martinsville. But different faces up at the front, and Garrett, that could be a good thing.
Could be a good thing, Peter, and also could be a bad thing if we see that wheel spin again like we saw on one of the previous restarts. So these guys are going to have to be patient, which that's like a crazy phrase considering the way tonight's going and how dire track position is with these laps ticking off. But you're going to want to get a clean restart here and not get involved in anything, because somebody like Scott Crump has not been in traffic all night. Now he's back there. He is not in control of his race until he gets back to the front, and that's something that we cannot stress enough, that you're out there and you're just along for the ride until there's nobody left to pass, and you can make your own racetrack essentially.
And having your own racetrack would be nice, especially when you're the race leader. But we'll have some action here when we go back green in just a moment. Back half of the field is getting caught back up. We'll see if the iRacing Payshark lights decide to turn back on. Doesn't look like it, so we'll put the race in the hands of the number 29 machine. And sure enough, the number 29 of Adam Newton is our race leader for the restart. And, there we go. Car around in the back. And ouchies. There's the number 21 up in the wall. And as you can see, yellow twinkling lights once again here at Martinsville Speedway. And that indicates that we have another caution flag. Looks like Julian Tesoro has called it quits. Vincent Valvano appears to have also called it quits here tonight. So a couple of these drivers saying, all right, I'm done with Martinsville. It's day done. Let's see what happened here to the number 21 of, just got punted there with Paul coming off the front of Paul Bilson. Garrett, he kind of went into the corner really softly, and I don't think Bilson was expecting that.
Communication's key in a situation like that, Peter. I mean, you're near the back of the field. I'm not saying he didn't do this, but I would cue the mic and say, listen, I'm not in a hurry here to get into turn 1. There's been a wreck every third lap tonight. Let's take it easy. Give Paul that heads up. And in the same instance, Peter, like the 00 there, you kind of have to assume guys are going to be babying it in front and take a little more conservative line. But it's one of those things. It's just Martinsville, and I have a hard time putting blame on anyone, but to me, in that instance, the 00 needs to react to the truck in front of him going a little slower into the corner.
Yeah, let's see this right here. He just got on the brakes. He didn't get on brakes really early. I'd say that's kind of a typical Martinsville accident. That happens here at Martinsville when one car gets on the brakes a little bit sooner than another, and there's a little bit of contact, and that's it. Leads to an accident as the number 21 sits on pit road. It could be night done for him as well. Look at this. It's starting to look like a junkyard on pit road. We got Jason Shue, who's probably pitting because Jason's been pitting almost every caution. Here comes another number 2 machine coming down, Justin White. Then we got Adam Dama, who's junked up in our chat now, actually. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Looks like corner is down and away into the corner of pit road, one of the few pit roads that does have a corner. Lashensky's all tore up. Price is all tore up. The 20 is all tore up. The 00's tore up. Bryce Hunter's tore up. The number 8 machine's looking fine and dandy. Then at 49 of Mitchell Adams looking pretty clean. I think there's a little bit of front end nicks. Looks like Joshua Smith here, and the number 13's looking relatively clean. Brandon King's not looking relatively clean. The 17's beat up. The 81 of McCauley, I want to say he was involved in an accident or maybe a self-spin. Looking pretty clean. 99 Philip Scott as well. Newton looking clean as well. So I think we're down to about 4, maybe 5 clean trucks here, Garrett, as we're now in the back half of the race.
Yeah, I don't want any clean trucks by the end of this race, Peter. Let's just make them all smashed up and let like whoever has enough power to cross the finish line be the winner. Like Floppy's qualifying lap. Sometimes they're like 4 minutes and 29 seconds for a 20-second qualifying lap. That's what I want to see, Peter. A nice just roll across the line. We'll just call the race like two snails are racing from turn 2 into and out of turn 3 and 4 to the finish line. As we're getting ready to go back green here on 3Y TV, as I'm clearly under the influence of all these shots I've been taking under caution.
Yeah, tonight's not the night to take a shot every time you have a caution, I'll tell you that much. As your race leaders blast off into turn number 1. Looks like Adam Newton is your race leader, and Philip Scott in second, Tristan Maher in third. And then behind them is Macaulay in the number 81 machine, Brandon King in the 55. There's a stack up, and they're still stacking up. And Bilson's around right in front of Scott Crump, and there goes one of the trucks that was still clean. Scott Crump, who's been dominant here tonight, wrapped up in this one. We're under caution again.
Peter, you and I have done this a long time, and when we say things, I mean, people might think we're just saying stuff or just make the broadcast more interesting, but like we said, you get back in traffic, you're no longer in control of your own race. Scott Crump has the truck to win this race, has the talent to win this race, and now he's going to have to deal with the unknown of how much damage iRacing is going to give him for getting caught up in another incident that he had nothing to do with, and that's just so frustrating for him. Stay Tuned Sports, the sponsor. Like, you think, man, I'm going to have a shot to win this thing if I just keep it clean, and you have to make that one pit stop, and it could be game over, but I think Scott has enough talent that if this isn't too bad, he'll be able to get back out there. Not really hard contact, but hard enough, I think, to cause him some repairs.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, because I think we're going to have to dial up the 3-wide TV blimp cam for this next one, or this next replay, rather. Let's see, one more replay from the 3-wide TV blimp. Going into turn number 3 and 4, the 00's on the inside, and the 13 kind of had a little bit of a jiggle there. I think he saw what was happening in front of him, because we almost saw Mitchell Adams have contact with Brandon King, and it just kind of, I think, was one thing that led to another, but we'll see what the number 8 machine elects to do. Is he on pit road? And the answer is yes. So, well, it was. Did come down pit road. So the number 8 machine of Scott Crump came down, got some damage repaired. We'll see whether or not he elects to come back down onto pit road to get more damage repaired. But it has been a night where a lot of these pit crews, as you can see right there, are having to do a whole lot of work on these race trucks. Go check out the chat. Dominic Tesoro was saying Julian needs to do the bump and run. Well, unfortunately, he's been bump and run out of the race. Tough break for Julian. Of course, not in the race last week. You know, everything kind of blurring together here on 3-wide TV. Garrett, I'm all out of whack. My live timing scoring still ain't working.
Peter, at this point, I think we'll just do the eye test. We'll see who crosses the finish line first. We'll assume they're the ones who won, and we'll interview whoever we feel like. I think that's the way we should do it here on 3-wide TV. I think you're doing a tremendous job, and I can't stress enough to the people in the chat watching the broadcast how difficult it is for you to be cycling through cameras, pulling up replays, doing the timing and scoring. I am not helping him at all, folks, and I'm not bragging about that. I could not get in. I am just watching his screen. Everything you see right now is Peter doing things not the way he's used to doing things, and it's amazing that we're able to actually see what's going on in the racetrack, because I'd be pulling up browser tabs and the FBI would be at my house at this point.
So, you know what's crazy, Garrett, is I'm using V and Shift V to kind of scroll through the field, and C and Control C, or Shift C rather, to control my cameras and kind of swap between cameras. I learned that back in NASCAR racing 2003 season, way back when we were youths, we were youngins, and I learned those commands in that game. And luckily, they still work here in iRacing as Tristan Maher with a big wiggle out of the number 77 Eclipse Photography machine. Here's Brandon King in the number 55, starting to work his way forward. He's had ups and downs in the 9-line Toyota Tundra, but he's going to try and use the high line as... that's too high of a... that was line number 9 for the 9-line Toyota Tundra there. Didn't quite work out for him as he starts to slide back now into the... I see twinkling yellow lights. That means caution. And the Grinds coffee pouches machine, well, they're not snuff pouches. They're not tobacco pouches. But there's smoke coming out the back of that Chevy Silverado. Garrett, time to dial this one up.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate to see this replay, Peter. My friend here, Justin. I know how much he looks forward to being able to race and not have to, just be the guy that's administrating these type of races. It hasn't been a great night for the number 2 of Justin White. We'll take a look at this. Gets into the corner. Everything looks great there, Peter. No need to worry. I'm cruising along here, and there's the 00 right in front of me, and nowhere to go. And another instance of just something happening in front and not enough racetrack here at Martinsville to avoid it. And I just saw our sponsors pop up in the corner there, Peter. That was a nice reminder that Brookstone Animal Hospital has given away so many lucky dogs today. They have solved the homeless pet crisis in America.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Yeah, I mean, I can bring them up. There we go. Press the button. But yeah, 00 Bilson just got hung up behind the number 13 of Joshua Smith there, and I think he thought he might have been clear, and unfortunately wasn't clear. As let's see if we can get one more look at this one on the 3-wide TV replay. There we go, back live, and I think this breaks it down pretty well. The number 13 kind of was a little bit slow, and I think Bilson just thought he was clear, came down straight into the 2, and unfortunately for the 2 of White, the engine gives up, and gonna have to come down pit road at the very least for a lengthy repair to stop the smoking. So we'll see how that goes as the race count winds on. Scott Crump continuing to come back down pit road, but let's reset the field for you. We're down to 13 trucks on the lead lap. Adam Newton is your race leader. Philip Scott is in second. Tristan Maher in third. Mitchell Adams in fourth. Then behind them, Brandon King, who was trying to make a pass for third there momentarily. Jason Freeman making a recovery for sixth. Michael McCauley in seventh. Joshua Smith back behind them. Bilson, I think, is now being scored a lap down. So we're down to 12 trucks on the lead lap. Joshua Smith in 8th, Scott Crump in 9th, Jeff Price rounds out our top 10 in the back channel production. Chevy Silverado in 11th, well, that's not our 11th place driver, that's our 11th place driver. Steven Lashinsky and Joshua Corner is our 12th place driver. Back on the lead lap, I thought that number 21 would have maybe be night done after being involved in an accident a little while ago, but sits in his pit box. Paul Bilson is one lap down now in 13th. Justin White still sitting in his pit box. Like I said, probably night done for him. But tough break for everyone. And I don't know why I just hit the replay button. Because we're not doing a replay because we're going back green here, Garrett. As space truck lights have turned off the field here. About to head down the back street. Yeah,
So far so good for the 29 of Newton leading the race. And Philip had a good restart the last time out there, Peter, and I thought he was going to challenge him. I think he's getting to the point where he wants to see what he has, that number 99. Thuggy and my Monday broadcast partner, Mitchell Adams, in that second row, two very talented truck drivers. And Mitchell's I think he's a little rusty, doesn't run as much, but it's no surprise to see him making his way towards the front as he gets more laps underway as we're back green, and we'll see how they sort it out. Looks like Thuggy has the inside position for position number 2, and Freeman and the 55 of King are side by side there for 5th.
Yeah, and here comes Mitchell Adams. King might have just knocked in the rear tailgate of the Mason-Dixon Racing number 20 machine. They're continuing to kind of sort things out as, that number 55 is just so late on the brakes. I think that back-end damage, who knows about damage at this point. Meanwhile, further back, here's Jason Shue, multiple laps down, but trying to navigate his way through traffic. Let's go back up towards the front. Disregard. That's the pace truck. There we go. Back up front. as Adam Newton has the number 17 of Philip Maher knocking on the door here, Garrett, as we are closing in on lap 100. Yeah, just had to quick check. We'll complete lap number 97. 53 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Well, I'd say they were flying by, Peter, but that would be a lie. But so far, so good on this restart. Dougie putting the pressure on the 29 and has a bit of a gap to his teammate Philip Scott in third, so he could focus on making the best corner he can. It looks like he was running a little bit higher up the racetrack, trying to get a little more momentum on exit there. Yep, he's running a little bit higher. I don't know if it's going to work out for him, Peter, but it's definitely worth a shot, especially when you have enough of a gap to try something like that out here with, like you said, 50-some odd laps to go.
Yeah, 50-something. Who's counting at this point, right? As Philip Scott has dropped back about 7, 8, maybe even 9 truck lengths behind Tristan Thuggy Maher. Battle for the race lead is nice and hot. You're starting to see the Stay Tuned Sports machine right there. Scott Crump start to work his way up into the top 5 battle once again. Michael McCauley and Jeff Price. It looks like Brandon King has really fell outside of the top 5, really started to struggle in his Toyota Tundra, as those drivers on pit road, they do really thwart the changing of the camera button from car to car. But hey, it is what it is. Here is the number 8, Scott Crump, looking to the inside of Jason Freeman for position. Takes it easy. Fresh tires, I believe, on the Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra. He will work his way now towards the rear tailgate of the number 49, Mitchell Adams, who's still looking mighty clean. There's Philip Scott, the World Ninja League Ford F-150, also looking nice and clean. Good job by him to keep his truck out of the... Really, I call it the blender here tonight. That's what this racetrack has reminded me of. Everyone has been spinning. Everyone's been pounding the wall. But you have a few trucks still to this very lap without any significant damage, like our race leader, Adam Newton.
Yes, surprisingly, there are still trucks without any damage out there, but it's not over yet. And these guys are racing pretty close, and never know who might also get thrown into the blender here. But I was just going to mention Peter. I don't remember what I was just going to mention. I had a thought, and I'm going to turn 33 on Sunday, and I just lost it. I'm getting old.
Well, you're probably going to get onto me about Philip Maher. Philip Scott and Tristan Maher run too many leagues together, so they just blur them together. The 17 and the number 99 currently running together out there on the racetrack, one spot apart in second and third. And meanwhile, back behind him, Garrett, I thought this was going to take, 10, 15, maybe 20 laps for Scott Crump to start knocking on the door of Mitchell Adams. Well, it's taken just a handful, as we got this battle now brewing for the 4th position.
Yeah, Peter, that's actually what was on my mind. I was wanting to talk about the number 8 of Scott Crump here, getting back into the fold. These cautions are benefiting him. Was able to probably get most of, if not all of his damage fixed, and you can see the speed is still in that number 8 truck. And if he gets a couple more yellows, gets the track position to fall the way he needs it to fall, I think he's going to be back in contention. And these guys up at the front, the 29, the 17, the 99, they need to sort it out and keep putting their best laps down, because they do not have the time to spare, the lap time to waste here with that 8 closing in on them.
And I think he's got fresher tires on the Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra as well. That's going to continue to help him. As you saw for a brief moment there, the brake rotors glowing on the Stay Tuned Sports truck. There's a good battle there. Bottom left of your screen right now, the black and blue machine is Tristan Maher, who goes way up the racetrack. Going to try and diamond the racetrack here, see if we can get the power down a little bit sooner. But that's the battle for the race lead, and then back behind him, that's the battle for 4th between Adams and Crump. And Garrett, probably what Scott Crump's going to want to have happen here is he's going to want to see the top 2 really start to duke things out, maybe start to lose some track position, as I think the 49 of Adams had a little bit of wheel spin coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, used tires versus new tires there, Peter. You see the wheel spin that Mitchell's dealing with, and how Crump was able to easily rotate through the center of that corner. I think it's only a matter of time, but if you're these guys at the front, you're rooting for Mitchell to hold up the number 8 as much as possible. And then same thing when he gets the 99 of Philip Scott. Race him hard. Let us sort this out. I think this would be a tremendous win if the 29 could pull this off, hold off the hard-charging 17 and everyone else in this field. But we're getting into some lapped and damaged trucks, and the unpredictability of this race, Peter. If somebody could end up spinning in front of these guys and the leaders will have a blocked racetrack, I don't wish that upon them, but it's certainly possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to Philip Scott last week at Bristol. Granted, we were on dirt, but I'm curious to know from these drivers, Garrett, whether last week on dirt was slipperier rather than it is tonight, because it looks pretty slippery out here at Martinsville Speedway.
It was pretty slick last week, Peter, at least initially, but then I think towards the end of the race, it seemed like to me you could drive it almost like old Bristol a little bit if you wanted to. For somebody that's not familiar with dirt, such as myself, as the race went on, I felt like I was able to drive it better. These guys who are more professional, they may have a different opinion, but it looks slick out here at Martinsville. I think it's just a matter of this racetrack, that the heavy trucks, the braking points, and everything else they have to deal with out there, and including the curbs on the inside of the racetrack that reminds you of almost a road course.
So let's just quickly bring up the live standings. We are down to 35 laps to go. Adam Newton is our race leader. Tristan Maher in second. Philip Scott in third. Mitchell Adams and Scott Crump running out our top 5, but the battle for third, fourth, and fifth is heating up here. Outside of our top 5, Jason Freeman rides in 6th, Jeff Price, Michael McCauley 7th and 8th, and then Brandon King and Steven Lashinsky rounding out our top 10. We only have 10 trucks on the lead lap as they run. Josh Smith, Joshua Corner 11th and 12th. Paul Bilson in the 13th position, still running. Bryce Hunter still running in 14th. And then back behind them, I think Jason Shue is about to make the pass on Justin White for 15th. It's been quite the night here at Martinsville Speedway, but let's see if we can dial up this battle, which, Garrett, it was heating up for a while, but all of a sudden Scott Crump has lost a little bit of time to Mitchell Adams as he's riding along in 5th. Do we think maybe that damage is now starting to hurt him as we have the longest run we've had of the night here today?
Yeah, I think that's possible, Peter. I didn't think he had any damage left the way he was mowing them down, but as we always talk about, you get further up in the field, they start to become harder and harder to pass, and either Scott's truck is just at its max right now and he has nothing left for these guys, or Mitchell's just doing that good of a job running smart, consistent laps, and we see them working their way through some lap traffic. Look like the battle might be more so between Mitchell and Phillip for third place, and if they get racing side by side, then we'll see what Scott has for them. But I also want to mention, we were talking about Jason Shue, I'm on the route for Jason Shue to get a top 10 bandwagon tonight, but this is one of those things that remind me of the field filler days of NASCAR, Peter. They could show up, not even have to put any tires on the vehicle, and just by attrition end up getting a decent finish. I don't think Shue had to change tires. I don't think he had to put any fuel in the truck. Shows up 20 minutes late, 20 laps down, whatever it ended up being, and he's going to still have a decent run. I think there'll be a smile on his face at the end of the night, and I kind of like to see that.
Yeah, just, languish around the racetrack and hope everyone else falls out. That's one way to do it.
That's my career.
That is your career, precisely. I think you got a top 10 recently, and it was a shocker. I think it's up in the booth. We're absolutely speechless. Might have been at Bristol, if I recall. Maybe somewhere else, but whatever. I was surprised you got a top 10, but good job, buddy. 10th place is a top 10 as Maher has a big slide coming out of turn number 4 there.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that, Peter. That was actually one of my other personalities I was racing last week, and I just found out about it the next day. So, thank you to Garrett number 7 for that.
Yeah, GG7. I was used to see that all the time in NR 2003. But right now, Maher unable to do anything up at the front as Adam Newton with a pretty commanding lead at this point, doing a great job. This battle for third still the hottest battle on the racetrack, as I think Lashinsky's fallen a lap down. Yes, he has. So we're down to just 9 trucks on the lead lap. And if it goes on for much longer, Brandon King's about to go a lap down. So we'll be down to just 9 trucks on the lead lap. I may do the math. No, we'll be down to 8 trucks on the lead lap as Michael McCauley will then be the last truck on the lead lap. Of course, the lucky dog could come out at any moment. And oof, Mitchell Adams there smacking the wall. Look at this. Scott Crump having a look to the inside. Nothing doing there just yet, though, as Adams continues to struggle with rear grip.
This is a heck of a battle here, and it looked like Mitchell had, like you said, a little issue with rear grip there on that entry as well. And he was getting, we saw Crump get close to the Mitchell. Adams didn't get to make the pass. We saw Mitchell close in on Phillip, but now it seems like he's struggling to make the pass. Martinsville, tire wear, wheel spin. It's the name of the game here, and all these guys are talented drivers, race winners, champions, and they're struggling. Can you imagine being new to the sim, trying to maybe race your first race or something at Martinsville? It might make you hate the sport, make you hate NASCAR just to do such a thing. And Mitchell, oh, that's it, Peter. It finally happened with the wheel spin.
Yeah, heavy contact with the wall. Let's go back and get that one quickly on a 3-wide TV replay and exactly see what happened to the number 49 machine coming out of the corner. Yeah, oh, man, that was impressive. Looks like Scott Crumb also might have got just a small piece of that, but that was really an impressive save because he was all types of sideways. Let's go back live. And as you can see, losing quite a bit. Ooh, what happened to Scott Crumb? Ooh, Crumb might have had a moment here, and Crumb's coming to pit road. Crumb might have severe damage here, Garrett, from that small little contact. He'd already picked up a knock from an earlier incident. He's on pit road here late in the ball game, and unfortunately, Scott Crumb, who has really had a lot of bad luck so far this season, things really not going his way again here tonight.
Yeah, it seems like, Peter, that you need something like this to happen to beat Scott Crump, and these guys are taking advantage of the opportunity. What is a loss for the number 8 Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra of Scott Crump is a win for the 29 here, as he's doing a tremendous job out here maintaining his lead and growing his lead as these laps wind down. Can't put yourself in a better position to win a race, especially at a difficult track here at Martinsville. And I'm very impressed by this number 29 Budweiser Chevrolet.
Yeah, that number 29 has been really, really fast here tonight. Started the race on the front row. Wasn't able to take the race lead until some pit cycles, and I think he played the strategy just right. Was able to get on pit road a little bit quicker than Scott Crump. And then when Crump came down pit road, that's when Newton took the race lead and really has not looked back. Probably going to end up, I think, almost leading the most laps here tonight. Maybe just missing it. Might go to Scott Crump for most laps led, but if not, Adam Newton has looked pretty good, although just quick check, we're down to 16 laps to go. Lap count winding down, but Garrett, we did see a brief moment there of non-Superman-like behavior out of the 29 machine. Has had a little bit of a slip-up, and that's allowed Tristan Maher to close to the rear tailgate. We could be looking at a 2-truck battle for the win here tonight as the lap count continues to click away.
I feel like Bill Edwards. I feel like I fell asleep and missed something, because a couple seconds ago I'm talking about the 29 expanding his lead, pulling away. And now the 17 of Tristan Maher looks like he has the better truck and is going to make quick work of the 29. Wow, this is crazy. I don't know if there's just that balance with the tires that all of a sudden they went away on the 29, but Thuggy is there, and this is the type of track that if you're there, you're going to use the bumper and do whatever you have to do to take this lead, as I think Thuggy wants to win this one. Yeah,
Tristan really late on the brakes there. Thought better. Oh, look at this. The number 29 machine of Adam Newton's having to come down pit road. He didn't have enough fuel. That's the only thing that would have brought the number 29 down pit road is a fuel problem. And Garrett, this long green flag run that we've had, which is the longest of the night, is actually running some of these drivers out of fuel. Now the big question is, who can make it? Can the number 17 make it to the end of the race on fuel? That's a question to be seen, as caution is out, and that's going to change everything. Let's see what brought out the caution flag here tonight. That is absolute terrible luck for a couple of these drivers. We're hearing that it might be Jason Freeman having problems in the number 20 machine. Let's see if we can see what happened here to the Mason-Dixon Racing Chevy Silverado was right behind Scott Crump. Of course, Crump on fresh tires, and just caught the apron there and had to lock him up. Tried to keep it rolling, but ground it to a halt. That's a tough break because really, I think, honestly, a caution flag didn't have to come out for that, but iRacing decided to throw it, and that's going to change the complexion of this race because had the number 29 machine had about 3 more laps of fuel, Garrett, we would be talking about a completely different storyline here tonight. It's like Maher going to win the race off pit road, but will Maher be the leader? That's the question. We'll have to wait for live timing and scoring to kind of cycle on out. Looks like the number 29 machine of Adam Newton coming back down pit road. Not 100% sure why. Maybe actually might have driven through the pit stalls to try and stay on the lead lap because Newton is indeed on the lead lap. Maybe when that caution flag came out, just decided not to pit and is now coming down. But currently, the driver being scored as our race leader is a driver who's a former series champion here in the National Sim Racing Association, Mitchell Adams. And Garrett, we just saw him in the turn 4 wall just a handful of laps ago. He's going to throw the dice here in the in his Chevy Silverado.
Peter, let me ask a question I've never asked on broadcast before. How many laps are left in this race? Because I actually don't know. So, but Mitchell,
we're sitting pretty at 8 laps to go. We're gonna have to. Garrett, do you have 10 fingers? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't want to say where they are right now, but I do have 10 fingers, and Mitchell's rolling the dice.
Well, put 8 of them up, okay? So you can count down. We're at 8. Everyone at home do the same thing. Get 4 fingers on your left hand, 4 fingers on your right hand. Put them up, and every single lap, delete a finger. I guess put a finger down is probably a better way to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
All together now, and 7. Okay. Yeah,
okay, Peter, let me get back to my very astute point here I'm trying to make. We have Mitchell Adams roll the dice. You know he's struggling out there. Probably wasn't going to win the race the way that number 49 was looking. Now, I have the opportunity to take the lead. He must have enough fuel. I have guys behind me to protect. Well, no, he doesn't have anybody behind him to protect him. He's on his own. I thought maybe there was going to be a couple more trucks staying out. It's just him and the 81. Dougie's there on the fresh tires. I look for the 17 to make quick work of Mitchell, but like you said, he's a former series champion. He gets in the turn 1 okay. Caution happens behind him. Laps wind down. This could work for him. Let's see how he deals with the wheel spin as we're going back green here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 laps to go.
6 laps to go. Good job. You can count your fingers as Mitchell Adams is our race leader, but it doesn't look like he'll be for long. There we go. Back up at the front as Maher, like you said, Garrett, makes quick work of the 49 of Mitchell Adams. Looks like Philip Scott going to work his way on through as well. And how about this? The number 29 machine right there of Adam Newton must have made a great move to just drive through the pit boxes to kind of stay on the lead lap because he's going to look to the inside here of the number 20 of Jason Freeman. But we're down to just 4 more laps to go. At least, yep, 4 laps. There we go. See, I have to use my fingers to press buttons, Garrett. I can't count my fingers. As we work our way onto the backstretch, here comes Jason Freeman making the pass on Mitchell Adams. Mitchell Adams, what a block. He doesn't want to lose the position. And looks like Newton said, hey, buddy, I'm going to give you a little bit of a love tap there as we're down to 3 laps to go. Lashinsky up in the outside wall towards the back of your screen out of turn number 4. Here we go, back up at the front, though. It is Tristan Thuggy Maher coming around to make it 2 laps to go. Will we see another caution? The caution flag will have to come out this lap as it looks like Mitchell Adams continuing to fall back. Here comes Michael McCauley to make the pass for that spot. That will be the pass for 5th. Good job by Michael McCauley here tonight. But let's go up to the front for number 9 machine having a problem. That's Lashinsky. Are we still green flag? Looks like we're still green flag as we're on the white flag lap, Garrett. Maher has a big lead over the number 99.
Team TNR, Peter, looking good out there again. Thuggy coming into turns 3 and 4 here. Going to take the checkered flag in the number 17 Eclipse Photography machine. Puts on a little show for us here on 3Y TV. Philip Scott in second. And Jason Freeman, I assume he was on the lead lap, finishing in third place after he just spun to bring out the last yellow, or am I missing something?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. He will be scored with third spot. So I brought out that final yellow, and it worked out for him. How about that? That's interesting. You don't often see that, but Maher, you know, Garrett, we this race has three parts. It's got the beginning part where Scott Crump led a whole lot of laps. Then it's got the middle part where the 29 machine led a lot of laps. And then at the very end, the conclusion, the final chapter is like 10 pages. It's not very long. But for this man right here, Tristan Thuggy Maher, that's all that it takes to wrap up a good storyline and a win at Martinsville Speedway. It was a race with, well, storylines galore here tonight, Garrett, as we had cars barrel rolling. Fred Lester went for a barrel roll in the front stretch, ended up on all four tires, but not seen out to the checkered flag. Cars getting airborne. It was wild here tonight in Martinsville.
Yeah, Peter, I think you summed it up perfectly. This was like one of those stories that you're reading along, and you're reading the Three Little Pigs, and the wolf's blowing down the houses, and you're pretty sure you know how it's going to end. And then all of a sudden, at the end, it says that the Three Little Piggies had two dads, and your mind's blown, and you didn't realize that's where the book was going to go. What happened here tonight, Peter? We had guys out there. We thought the 8 was fast. We thought the 8 had this race in control. Then we thought the 29 had this race in control. And you mentioned earlier, and I give you credit, that the 17 of Tristan Maher was coming. He had a good strategy, and that's why you're the best in the business, Peter, because you knew it. You might not have knew exactly how it was going to happen, but you knew it was going to happen. And Team TNR sweeping the podium tonight is something as the TNR League admin that I can't help but stop smiling about.
Yeah, well, folks, I do apologize. Had a little momentary hiccup in the connection to YouTube. Looks like things have stabilized there. But you didn't miss anything but the burnouts by the number 17 machine, and of course Garrett Gleason saying a few things. But really, you didn't miss anything there either. So let's bring in tonight's third place finisher, Jason Freeman. I get to give a dig at Garrett, folks. If you don't know, if this is the first time maybe listening to a race with myself and Garrett in the booth, I have known this guy through some means of a forum since I was probably 14 or something, and we were racing in NASCAR 06, the EA Sports game, as garbage as it was. But anyway, let's jump to, so that's why I get to give a dig at this guy sometimes. So let's dial up Jason Freeman, though. Jason Freeman, Peter Short, 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Jason, a good run for you here tonight. Finishing home in third, but trials and tribulations of the paperclip, to say the least. Kind of walk us through your race, and how on earth was it out there? It looked mighty slick.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a good race on my part. I qualified up front there, and then I think I self-spun 3 times tonight. The first time, I didn't do anything different than I did the whole race, and then I just self-spun on me. The second time, I was messing with my brake bias a little bit, and then self-spun the second time there. The third time, I thought I had it saved, and so when the leader pitted, I think Newton was the leader, he pitted, and I knew Philip was short, and I ran Mitchell down from like 2 seconds back. I was down on power, but I guess I saved some tires, just not being able to pedal as much as I could. But when Newton pitted, I knew Philip had a pit, and I ran Mitchell down. I was like, man, I'm going to drive these last 15 laps as hard as I can. You know, if I can get by Mitchell, I'd come away in second. And unfortunately, I thought I had it saved, but sideways got it rolling, but the caution came out, so I felt bad about that. But yeah, that was about it.
Well, we didn't expect to see green flag pit stops at Martinsville. That one took us by surprise, but of course, smaller fuel tanks here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. Do you think the smaller fuel tank led to the handling issues that we saw out there for a lot of drivers tonight?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that might have been part of it, because it didn't seem like tires were really wearing that much. I mean, that when I self-spun the first time on like lap 30 or whatever, close to 30, my right side tire still said 99. So it was just, like I said, it was weird, caught me off guard and snapped around. So I don't know if it was due to the fuel loss or what.
Well, definitely a tricky one here tonight, but we keep the short tracks rolling. We go to Iowa next week. What are your thoughts about that 7/8 mile racetrack?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed Iowa. Haven't raced there in a while, but used to be a pretty fun track, and it seems like it gets pretty spread out. And I've ran Iowa when it can be really tight, and sometimes it's really loose. So I guess it all depends what setup we get next week.
Well, I know it's one racetrack that a lot of people look forward to on the calendar is Iowa. Not sure many people look forward to Martinsville on the calendar these days, but nonetheless, any shout-outs you like to give out?
First off, you guys up in the booth, 3 Wide TV, the TNR guys, Philip, Jason Chu, Garrett, Tristan, congrats on the win. Justin, I'm sure he's going to have a couple adult beverages after dealing with this one. So, but appreciate everything that everybody does to keep this going.
Yeah, I might need one of those adult beverages myself after this is all said and done. But we've had our own trials and tribulations up here in 3Y TV. But I think we probably should have realized that we were in for a long night with all the trouble we had before hitting the live button. But Jason, congratulations on third, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that's it for our third place finisher. Now, time to dial up tonight's runner-up. Well, I'm not sure if it's Philip Maher or Tristan Scott, but it's the driver of the number 99, Philip Scott. Garrett, take it away.
Peter, boy, am I glad to be able to interview Philip Scott after that lackluster interview that Jason Freeman just gave. It seems like we were keeping him from a nap. I want to talk to somebody that's excited about racing, and Philip Scott is always excited about racing. He's a ninja. He's a racer. But, Philip, you didn't get to the lead tonight. What type of handling issues and track issues were you dealing with out here at Martinsville?
Track position mainly, and also I didn't want to wear out my tires too much. I think early on, obviously it was pretty chaotic, lots of yellow, so I was just trying to, after a while, I didn't want to overheat my tires too much, so I just kind of went with it and tried to stay in the general track position. And Newton, it was funny, in the middle of the race, Newton was like, I'm just riding, you can go ahead and pass me. And I think I tried making a couple moves, but I don't think that was true. So it was definitely a interesting race, and man, I can't believe I almost pulled off going the whole race without pitting. I was going to be a short on fuel, but yeah.
You know, it's kind of crazy to see guys short on fuel. The 29 came down pit road, got saved by that caution, and I'm glad you mentioned Adam Newton. He did a fantastic job in that 29. Had a lot of speed. Team TNR strategy played off. You guys swept the podium tonight. Just wanted to maybe ask you, did you think that you had anything for Tristan, or was he pretty much the class of the team tonight?
I felt like if we got into a rhythm, I feel like if it was a little bit longer run, I think I would have been able to get closer. But just the way the restart played out, first off, I forgot how new tires felt after 146 laps or whatever. So I kind of was outbraking myself a little bit and heated them up a little too much. But he cleared Mitchell before at a better time than I did, which kind of like broke the rubber band, and I couldn't really gain or lose anything from him after that, so I just rode it home.
Well, nothing to be ashamed of, finishing top 2 here at Martinsville. Headed into Iowa next week. Like Peter mentioned in that previous interview, that everybody seems to like Iowa on the sim. What are your thoughts going into there? You think you'll be in contention for a win?
Oh yeah, last season I finished second to Tristan. So maybe I've really been wanting to get some oval wins, because road courses are always scary for me because I'm always expected to win. So I'm happy to win those, but like what I really want to do this season is win more on ovals. So hopefully Iowa's a good track, and I really like driving it. So hopefully I can get the win next week.
I'll be looking forward to trying to stay on the lead lap as you're lapping me next week at Iowa. But before we let you go, congratulations on the second place. If you'd like to give any shout-outs, I'll give you the floor.
Not much. Just shout-outs to World Ninja League. Check us out, worldninjaleague.org.
Oh, that's wow. You're getting better at cutting down these interviews. I had you scheduled for at least 8 minutes, so that's pretty good, Philip. Congratulations, bud. We'll talk to you soon, and I'll let you go to the victory lane and celebrate your teammate, and I'll throw it to our good friend Peter Short, who is no stranger to victory lane. Maybe not. Maybe he is a stranger to victory lane here at Martinsville, but he's no stranger to victory lane itself as he catches up with Tristan Maher in the victory parade.
Yeah, Tristan Maher, I was mentioning a little while ago to everyone in the chat that it was kind of a race of 3 periods, right? I mean, that's what they call them in hockey. But you had the Crump period, then you had the 29 Newton period, and then right at the very end, for the final 15 or so laps, it was a Tristan Maher period, and victory lane for you here tonight. Let's walk back through those final 15 laps. The 29 machine heading down pit road, what was going through your mind at that point?
Honestly, I knew, or I shouldn't say I knew, I was questioning whether or not Adam could make it on fuel because I had known that he hadn't pit all race. So, anyways, I was kind of just playing it like he wasn't going to have to, and I was kind of pushing to catch him. I know for that run that we had, he did pull out away from me. I was attacking him, putting the pressure on in the beginning, and then I think I heated up my rears too much. So he ended up pulling out. He got about a second away from me. I was like, I got to change something up because he's just pulling away. This isn't working. I was getting really loose off the corner. So I did something pretty different than what I would normally do, and I turned my brake bias back forward to take some of the load, the braking load and everything off of my rear tires, and that really actually helped my drive off, to be honest. It was a little bit less sketchy going into the corner as well, and also I wasn't getting so loose off the corner. Maybe it was a placebo, maybe it wasn't, but that's what gave me the pace to kind of reel him back in. And then, I was right on his bumper when he pulled down pit road, and I was like, at that point, I'm like, well, I got this race won if I just, hang out. I knew Philip had to pit, so I was just kind of cruising. And then my own teammate, Jason Freeman, self-spun, and he made it a little more interesting for sure.
Well, it definitely was interesting there at the end, and Mitchell Adams stayed out. Obviously, it didn't work out for him. He took the lead within 3/4 of a lap, and then saw it out to get the dub here tonight. But Iowa Speedway next week here on 3Y TV. Hopefully, our live timing and scoring overlays work for by then. Seems like it's a big problem. But what are your thoughts of Iowa?
I love Iowa. Iowa's a great track. I really love driving that track in the truck. Tires are going to be important, saving tires. I know I went there last season, and I believe Philip was behind me. And I love the track. It's fun. I love saving tires there and seeing the long run pace of everybody. It's a great track.
Definitely going to be a fun one. Before I let you go, any shots you like to give out, Thuggy?
Yeah, we got to shout out Christopher Darling at MaxGrafix for painting this F-150. Eclipse Photography. You guys up in the booth. I can't wait to go back and watch this 3-hour race. I'm a little tired. I think that's it. That's all I got.
You made me laugh, Dougie. That was funny.
Justin White for putting all the effort in and putting the league on. He's got a bunch of stuff going on. So props to him for doing all this.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win. We'll see you again next week, Tristan.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. Well, let's see if we can dial up tonight's final race results. Tristan Maher getting home the win after 150 grueling laps here at Martinsville Speedway. I'll just read them out. You probably can't see them. Tristan Maher is our race winner. Philip Scott in second. Jason Freeman rounding out our podium. Adam Newton, He led a whole lot of laps, coming home in 4th. Michael McCauley in 5th. Mitchell Adams finishing just outside the top 5 with that late race. Well, it wasn't really a strategy call. I have seen some discussion where he just realized, or didn't realize, that pit road was open, so he just stayed out and made his own bed and finishing just out the top 5. Not a terrible night. Jeff Price in 7th. Brandon King, first car, 1 lap down in 8th. And 9th, Stephen Lashinsky and Scott Crump finishing in 10th, 3 laps down. Had a meatball flag is what I am hearing. Paul Bilson finishing also 3 laps down in 11th. Joshua Smith in 12th. Joshua Corner 13th. Bryce Hunter 14th. Jason Shu got a top 15 after starting 27 laps down, finishing 27 laps down. Justin White in 16th. Julian Tesoro 17th. Adam Dama 18th. Vincent Valvano 19th. Fred Lester, who did a spectacular roll here on the front stretch, in 20th. Doug Neal and Bill Edwards rounding out our 22 trucks. Matt Cherry did not start here in the number 51. But Garrett, we'll see the number 7 back on track next week. What are your thoughts about Iowa Speedway?
I'm not great there, Peter, but I'm not great anywhere, so I'm just going to look forward to being back out there on the track with these boys in these NSRA Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series. Just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be up here in the 3Y TV booth, and Justin White for the opportunity to represent his league up here in the booth. And it was fun. We had our struggles, but I really enjoyed the time I get to spend up here with you, and I hope we provided some good quality commentary and some laughs to our 3Y TV audience.
And I think the number 7 truck is all in one piece. I don't think any other truck can say that here tonight. So it definitely wouldn't have been one in piece if you were driving here tonight. So yeah, I think everyone on your team probably very thankful that your truck's in one piece.
It had as much speed in it tonight, not running, as it would have had I been out there on track at Martinsville. So no complaints. Shu and I would have been racing 27 laps down, but I would have started the race on time, and he would have started the 27 laps down.
Well, there you go. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in to tonight's Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. Make sure you check out Stay Tuned Sports Podcast with Jimbo and all of his gang, releasing podcasts each and every week about all the sports happenings, and especially in Philly. I saw there was a food fight recently in Philadelphia, I think in one of the Phillies games, a baseball game, and I think there might actually be a couple of food fights with some of the drivers here tonight after this is all said and done, with all the messiness out there on the racetrack. But for myself, Peter Short, Garrett Gleason, and everyone else in the 3Y TV family, have a good evening, and we shall see ya! Wrong button. And now we shall see ya!